Okay. So my producer said, wait a minute. All right, so y'all said we're live on YouTube? Okay, producer said we're live on YouTube. Okay, cool. Sorry for coming in late, but that's what we're going to be talking about. Jim Crow Joe Biden pimp stop his civil rights hoes. And Tariq Nasheed, he responds to Grandmaster Jay not being an agent. Nasheed says, let's say hypothetically, that he is not, referring to Grandmaster Jay. He's about to become one. Okay. So if he get convicted, so all of a sudden now Tariq is saying hypothetically he may become one, but you still haven't proved that he is one. But we specifically also talking about Jim Crow Joe Biden, pimp stop, his civil rights holes, and Tariq Nasheed respond to Grandmaster Jay not being an agent. The Lawyer Henderson show is live. We're going live. Everybody hit that thumbs up button. Go ahead and also donate to the Cash App. It will be down. It will be down at the bottom when this video is over. Plus, don't forget to basically hit that thumbs up and leave comments after our videos. Go to our videos and look at them and leave comments. We're also live on Blog Talk Radio. The Lawyer Henderson show is on, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so you two, Screw Two, finally got us connected here. Okay, cool. All right, so the number to call in if you want to chat with me is 516-418-5867, 516-418-5867. Sorry we're coming on so late. Had some much needed things to do and had to get that out the way. So we are coming on late. We typically come on around 7 or something. So I apologize about that. And then as we came on ScrewTube, we've already had the live on, but ScrewTube, they had taken like some of my subscribers away after I called out some certain types of people within the U.S. Attorney Office and this bogus charge against our brother Grandmaster Jay. Also, I criticized Tariq Nasheed. I'm not saying Tariq is an agent, okay, like he's calling everybody else. I'm just saying that after I basically called them out, some of my subscribers left. And that's fine, okay? Because, we got a lot of black folks who just don't want to hear the truth. We have that. But yeah, we got everything. And then ScrewTube, as we were coming on, tried to stop, they have these new policies where if you just talk about the police, talk about the government, talk about probably some of their Negro flunkies, then all of a sudden your YouTube video goes off. And I'm not saying that that's Tariq. Tariq is a good guy. I'm not saying that. We haven't thrown, so don't get it twisted. We haven't thrown Tariq Nasheed away. They just think that we have done that. No, we still support our brother. In fact, I just got finished listening to him yesterday. Great show, by the way. But ScrewTube basically were upset. They took they took about 600 subscribers away from me. And I don't know if that's what's going on. I don't know and they also shut down the video. So what ScrewTube was doing is they making sure that when you speak out on certain types of people, see, this is why that your rights are not protected under the First Amendment. Okay, you don't have the right to freedom of speech. It's only when people are not listening when those rights are enforced. Moreover, because ScrewTube basically is going to basically get upset with you when you start speaking truth to power. You see, ScrewTube is going to be able to talk to be able to allow you to do certain types of things. Okay, that if you start saying and speaking the truth, and people start listening, that becomes a threat. Okay, but yeah, we're talking about Jim Crow Joe Biden. He pimp slapped his civil rights hoes. He is pimp slapping these boot licking, butt dancing Negroes who's trying to get a seat in his administration. He basically, an audio linked out, and Jim Crow Joe Biden just said, "Let me tell you, Negroes, what I'm not going to do." Like, damn, pimp slap that hoe, baby. That's what Jim Crow Joe Biden. And we'll get into that a little bit later on. Let's talk first about Tariq Nasheed. Now, he basically finally responded to Michi X, calling her all kinds of fat this and called her all kinds of names and stuff. And this is the wars that we're having right now. These beef that I talked about yesterday, they don't do the black community no good. And that was a great doctor, a sister that came on. She broke it down about the beef between our brother Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Marcus Garvey, and also W.E. Du Bois. Okay, and when Marcus Garvey invited W.E. Du Bois to come to speak, just like any old kinds of a Negro who have egos, they decline. Okay, so there was a mention that ADOS, Yvette Carnell, and Tone Talks actually invited Tariq Nasheed before he, this is allegedly, before he basically set up the Foundational Black American thing. But they invited him to speak at their conference, ADOS conference, and that Tariq Nasheed said, "No, I'm going to basically start my own organization." You see, we have Tariq Nasheed then playing the role of W.E. Du Bois. Now, later, W.E. Du Bois was very cool. He basically said that there were some mistakes that he made that he shouldn't have made. Okay. So we often do learn from lessons of the past. Okay. So the ideal here is that the reason why a lot of people are upset with Tariq Nasheed right now is because of calling out our brother Grandmaster Jay. Now, people, we are in a system of white supremacy. We don't have enough time to just be basically saying, "Oh, this person is an agent, that person is an agent," without proof. Okay. But this guy, I don't know how to say his name, but I listened to his show yesterday, I think it was, Taharkur Bay, the Taharkuri Bay show. I hope I pronounced that right. Sorry, brothers, I'm not pronouncing your name right. But he had a debate as to whether or not that Grandmaster Jay, our brother, is an agent or not. He had a great show, but he really still didn't say nothing that proves it. All he got was, well, Grandmaster Jay, he was basically trying to be a DJ, and he tried to copy off of Grandmaster Flash and blah, 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 blah. That still don't prove he's an agent, though. Well, see, he was up there, some pictures in the same black uniform. That still doesn't prove that he's an agent. There has been a lot of black people who showed up at rallies with the same kind of attire. Hell, y'all remember the guy who did the pants on your ground, looking like a fool with your pants on your ground, hat turned sideways, walking, talking, pants hit the ground. That guy showed up to protest in almost the same kind of uniform all the time. And he had his mental issues. He was also in the military. And sometimes the military psychologically and mentally drain you and destroy you as well, because they have to transform you to be a killer. And so when you transition back into society and being a what they call a civilian or your civilian life, that sometimes basically take a whole toll. Okay, some black men specifically come back and open war or open fire against the people who's trying to destroy them, like we've seen in Brian Nichols, like we've seen, like I said, in our brother, what's his name, the guy who Gardner, Micah Johnson, another Johnson who basically took his frustration out on the system. So we've known brothers to come away from the military and to get that training, but come back to civilian life, and they basically don't know how to, just they don't know how to come back and feel like, okay, the government basically is trying to destroy me. So instead of just basically trying to say, okay, let's get back and get some therapy. Let me go and meet with somebody. They take it out on the system and say, I'm done with it. Okay. And that's what Grandmaster Jay critics wanted him to do. But no, he said, no, you got to look at the bigger picture. Instead of me going out there foolishly doing that, I want to bring hundreds of thousands of black men and women so that we can start this show about us getting guns, training them, make sure that we're protected against the white supremacists, which pretty way is better smart. I talked a little bit about that yesterday. And so you had Tariq Nasheed say, well, let's say hypothetically that he is not an agent. Okay, Tariq, because you've been convincing all of your followers and all of us that he is. But okay, well, let's deal with your hypothetical question. Your hypothetical question is to say, let's just say he's not an agent. Okay. And we're going to break down this agent thing, by the way, today, because the Lawyer Henderson show give you the alternative in the black community. But let's just say he is not an agent. And this is coming from Tariq Nasheed. Well, he said, well, he's about to be one. Okay. But that's the reason why we're putting thousands of dollars on his books, so that he won't get caught up into the system like Shitty Loke did against Nipsey Hussle. Okay? The true definition of an agent, like y'all like to say, is who is actually a police informant. And our brother Laylo, go look at his show. Shout out to Laylo. He broke it down. He did some prison time, almost 10 years for armed robbery at a bank. And one of the things that he taught us also, and which I already knew it to a certain extent, but what he did was he taught us in about the federal government. There has been cases where the government will let you go, especially on the federal level, because you don't have no bond. They don't need your money on the federal level. Hell, they print money. Okay. But see, Tariq Nasheed has never really, he's been arrested. And the only reason how Tariq has been arrested is because somebody else accused him of tying up his wife. If that little incident didn't happen, Tariq would have not known anything about being arrested. Let's just say that for a fact. But he was not arrested. They let him go, and he went back into the house. We're talking about people who actually had to face the court system, like myself, like this other guy, or who basically worked in the court system. Okay. Now I was charged just like Tariq, but I was was arrested, but was never convicted. See, there's a difference. There's a difference between being arrested and being convicted. A lot of black folks like to use your arrest against you. Oh, nigga, you've been arrested, okay? But I haven't been convicted, okay? That's the difference. Anybody can get arrested. That's nothing. But when you go to court and then they convict you, that's where it basically, now you got something against you, okay? But if you have not been convicted, it's only an arrest. An arrest is nothing, okay? Anybody can be arrested, okay? But proving the case is a different thing. Can the prosecutor prove the case? Okay, and if they cannot prove the case to the jury, because 9 times out of 10, they're gonna get a jury trial. Okay, And because they don't, nobody believes that one person, a judge, how biased they asses are. No one is going to basically, you know, put their all of their life and their freedom for one person. So in these cases, you basically get a jury. You're going to get a jury trial. Okay, so you're in the system. So to be a informant, you got to first be a criminal person convicted. What we have seen was Grandmaster Jay only appearing in protest, believing that, at first we could basically work out our situations with white people in their racism. Okay, so let's show up and hold hands. Let me go to this protest and let me be here a part of the Black Lives Matter. Okay, he learned leadership in the military, and so he brings that back to the civilian life at protests and all these things. That doesn't prove he's an agent. Okay, see, Tariq has never been. He's never went actually down to the police station. Oh, he's just been arrested and brought to the police car, and then hours they let him go. So this man has never ever been, and that's no shade on him, but that's the difference between knowing the knowledge, and that's the reason why his followers don't understand the same thing. So there's a difference between the arrest and conviction. Okay, anybody can be arrested. Okay, that doesn't mean that you've done anything. Okay, that just means that those are charges. Those charges can be dropped with the lack of evidence. The charges, like I said, Grandmaster Jay's case, these are weak charges brought by the FBI, the U.S. Attorney General Office. That's the reason why we're calling out them. They brought some sick charges that they know is not going to stick. Okay. And this is not the first time this has happened. Okay. You have a black man teaching certain types of things on YouTube about gun safety. But see, when white folk men do it, oh, it's all good. But you niggas, no, y'all can't be learning about no gun safety. Y'all can't be talking about no self defense because the first thing that they're going to say is, oh, you're going to use the self defense against the police. You see, they don't want us to learn that in self-defense, and this is not just constitutional law, you have a God-given right of self-defense. And that doesn't mean, and I don't care who the person who points a gun at you, whether it be a regular person, whether it be a police themselves, whether it be FBI, anybody, if they point a gun at you first in self-defense, you have a right to protect yourself. Okay? Anybody. Okay, that's self-defense. That's common knowledge. Okay, and they don't want Negroes to know that. Okay, so that's what he was teaching. On top of that, he was teaching and breaking down Chancellor Williams and all other types of black people who have helped us in throughout our history and culture. That's why it's very important to learn history and culture because it is learned experience that you get from it to know what we are up against in white supremacy. Now, he basically got these charges, and then they brought state charges. And the state charges is not the same as federal charges. And so they were like, oh, see, I told you that nigga got out the next day, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And that's typical. He had no criminal record. Okay. He wasn't a flight risk. Um, he basically turned himself, or they came and got him. He went willfully. People say, oh, see, why that nigga that's just in shoot and kill and shot and chop. See, it's all nonsense of what you got these Negroes saying. This is not, he has nothing to, it's just like a prisoner of war. They take your leader away from you and then they sit down and they talk with the leader and say, hey, man, you're out here teaching, your people this, you're teaching them guns, how to do this. We understand that you learned that in the military, but you're teaching these civilians, these Negroes, these types of techniques that we're teaching people in the army. Okay, you shouldn't be doing this. Okay, and this is what this is all about. Okay, But see, the white boys are always on television. This is how you do your guns, guys. Radical dude. And so when you cock the dude, what you're gonna do is point at the aim, cowabunga. They on YouTube saying that stuff all the time. And yet you don't have the feds are like I said, it took them a very long time to come out to get the white boys who was trying to kidnap the governor of Michigan. It took them a long time to go do that. Damn. They were in there, hell, they were in there about to go get her stage when it took the feds to go get them. I mean, with black people, all you do is just say down the guns, like, boom, boom, boom. Like, damn, hold on now. That's the difference. The difference is they come out to us more forcefully. Okay, we don't even get to say, okay, I just bought a gun. Feds come knocking at your door. Okay, with them, the white boys have to be ready to go and do some stuff, and then that's when they get caught. Okay, so we have a difference between how black people are treated and then white people are treated when it comes to arrests, when it comes to what charges will stick, because white people often use the system against us. And when it comes to them, specifically their police officers, it's all about, well, let's see, y'all really don't have the evidence. You get people like whack job Jeffrey Tubin. If the police can't do that job, if they can't do that job, and you see, they have to white explain things. Okay, so it's very different here. Okay, so that's the difference of what you have to understand. The difference of what you have to understand is that we get treated differently than how white people get treated. Okay, when they start talking about this is not about white and black, that's bullshit. It has always been about white and black. If you look at everybody else basically they move in different directions economically, politically, and socially by ethnicity. We're the only one they tell, oh, it's not about race, you see. It's not about this, that. Don't talk about race. You see, this is about class. No, nobody in the 1% is stopping me and pulling me over at 3 o'clock in the morning, trying to give me a damn traffic ticket. That 1% I'd never see. Okay. So I'm fooling with somebody in the 99%. So don't miss me with that class bullshit. Okay. No, this is about people moving as it relates to ethnicity. And they try to convince black folks, oh, you should move as it relates to being black. That's bullshit. Because at the end of the day, as Amos Wilson had taught us, everybody moved towards their race. Because the white man created the race. He created races. Okay, we didn't have this type of language going on, as Dr. John Henry Clark taught us. No one talked about race until the white man came on the scene. See, when he first sat down with the Native Americans just treated him like humans. When he sat down with the African treated him like a human. Okay, it was him who started to basically do all these barbaric things and still do it and try to white explain why he does it. And so he tells everybody else to follow the law. And then when it's time for him to follow the law, here's the thing. You see, we got to go through this. We got to this. See, you just can't convict anybody. You see, we can't just convict police officers. Okay. And so they move as it relates to ethnicity. Okay. Everybody move as it relates to ethnicity. We're the only people, black folks are the only one who move towards a situation of multiculturalism. We move in instance of talking about we are all, humans and all this old stuff. Okay. But there has been certain people doing things to us that basically prove otherwise. You understand? So that is what we have to start understanding. Okay. And so that leads me to these bootlicking Negroes who Joe Biden pimp slapped. I mean, he didn't literally pimp slap them, but he should have, because all that talk he was doing, man, it was crazy. It was so crazy how he was talking to these people. I'm like, whoa! I said the civil rights uh, people was getting pimp slapped. These bootlicking Negroes, they were getting pimp slapped by Joe Biden in this disclosed room and stuff where they met, and he was just laying down what a pimp is supposed to lay it down, or how a pimp is supposed to lay it down. I mean, he should have just went out there and bitch slapped all of those civil rights retreads and these Negro flunkies who want a job within his administration, because he was talking crazy. But that's what we're going to be talking about next on the Lawyer Henderson Show. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. All right. So Jim Crow Joe Biden pimp slapped his civil rights hoes. Told y'all bootlicking Negroes who's trying to get a job in his administration, hold on, Negro. I'm going to tell you what I'm not going to do for you Negroes. You see, all that talk about, oh yeah, and the black community have came helped us out again. All of that was just rhetoric. And Negro Jim Clyburn, he was out there all up in his face. Yeah, white daddy, we listen to you, white daddy. And his daughter, basically, I think it's going to be the FCC communications director. I told y'all about his daughter already been getting all of these jobs because of her relationship within because of Jim Clyburn being a congressman. And I told you, I think his daughter had still sit on the board of Lionsgate. You understand? They got his daughter on the board of every other corporate board you can name. And so Jim Clyburn is saying, nah, forget all that. I want my daughter inside the administration. Okay, I want her sitting on the on some job. And so Joe Biden said, yeah, we'll give her a job working as the FCC director. Okay, but the rest of you Negroes, okay, I promise y'all niggas this, and I promise y'all that, but don't be up here thinking that y'all gonna be punking me, because see, I'm still white daddy. Pimp slap the hoes. And so I know that you all on YouTube cannot listen to what the man said, but I'm going to help you out. And what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm going to repeat the stuff of what Jim Crow Joe Biden. They basically told him that they were not recording any of this audio. I mean, any of his his remarks about, hey, okay, we helped you, Jim Crow Joe Biden. Now are we going to get these positions you promised us? Okay, but this is Jim Crow Joe Biden. Let me see if people in the okay. Excuse me. So he said, I'm the first person to say that black people was dying more than white folks, or to that effect. Um, and so he made it clear that you Negroes, y'all dying faster rate than black folks, and that's because of all the ills and the negligence and neglect because of this illegitimate government. Okay, but let's continue. Okay. And he said, I had a record of getting anything done in the United States Congress better than anybody you know. Yeah. All of your policies against black folks. Yeah, you got that done. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue. Oh, and then and then where he said to his Negro flunkies, these bootlicking, butt dancing, butt stretching Negroes, he told them, let's get something straight. Hmm. Jim Crow Joe Biden, you putting your black holes in check. Let's get something straight, Negroes. I'm white daddy. Well, let's continue. Oh, oh, he said number one, then number two, and then he said, I mean what I said when I say it. Damn. You see, this is how you chin check your hoes. You don't sit around here and allow your hoes to remind you of all of the claims that you said that you're going to give them a position next to you. Hold on, Negroes. Let me check you. See, they got him in the corner and say, wait a minute, Jim Crow Joe Biden, we got you elected. We now you made all these promises. You said in your speech that African Americans came for you and helped you to get this election. Now we want those positions in your cabinet that you promised. And Jim Crow Joe Biden said, hold on, just like a pimp will say when he's ganged up on his hoes. Number one, I'm still white daddy. Number two, don't y'all Negroes be trying to come off here and confront me for something I said. I said it and I said it, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to basically do it. And that's why you see Jim Crow Joe Biden with most of his cabinet members, as you know, are going to be with white people, specifically white men. But let me continue to say everything and not verbatim, but to also kind of say what he says and then answer what he says, as far as because you all on ScrewTube can't basically hear. Sorry about that, but you can hear on Instagram. Mm. There's some things that he'll be able to do in executive order, and he's not going to be hesitant to do it. Okay, just like you seen Obama, did the DACA Act for the illegals, executive order, smooth, got it done. So Jim Crow Joe Biden said there's some things that I'm going to be able to do by executive order. You understand? And there's some things I'm not going to be able to do. Well, let's continue to hear old Jim Crow Joe Biden pimp slap his hoes. Mm, okay, but what I'm not going to do is what you all get angry about during the debates. Is what he said. So he's up here letting his Negro flunkies know. Don't be up here don't be double teaming me. Don't be up here barging me in closed doors, talking about now. You see, white daddy, you made all these promises to us. Don't be up there coming to a player like that. Negro flunkies, y'all better bag up. And I'm gonna tell you what white daddy gonna do for you. But I'm gonna tell you all the things I'm not gonna do for you. Wow. But let's continue though. Oh. And the reason why he up here saying he's not going to do this, and Jim Crow Joe Biden is not going to do that because he not in the constitutional authority. You see, white people always want to bring up the law when it's time to do certain things for black folks. Hell, they do everything they want. They bend the law for themselves and for other groups. But when black folks come up and say, "Hey, what you gonna do for us?" I'm not going to do anything that's against constitutional authority. And you niggers got to know that. Pimp talk. Let's continue. I am not going to violate the Constitution. Pimp talk. Ooh wee. Told these flunky Negroes, don't be coming up here trying to get uppity with me. I'm the one who signed your checks, Negroes. I'm the one, and the reason why you Negroes are in and basically even got an opportunity to sit down here with me, white daddy. Don't be coming up here talking about what I promise you. Wow. I'm not going to do anything for you Negroes, and the Constitution said I can't. Whoa. Let's continue though. There is a Constitution. That's our only hope. That's what he said. Only hope. Ooh, wow. Ooh. But what I'm not going to do is an executive order where I can do away with assault weapons. So now Jim Crow Joe Biden is moving off the topic a little bit, but still telling his Negro flunkies, look, we're not going to do nothing for the black community. Okay? Pimp slapping these Negroes. See, black folks, this is how they talk to black people. This is how they talk to us. Every other group is let's compromise, let's sit down at the table, let's talk about it. As soon as black folks come in here, you niggas, let me tell you what I'm not gonna do. Ooh wee, Jim Crow Joe Biden. Okay, let's continue to say what he says. Like I said, I know you people on YouTube you can't hear, but sorry about that. Instagram, Facebook, you can hear. Let's go ahead. Wow, no, can't do it by executive order. I can't get rid of assault bans on assault weapons by executive orders. All right, let's go ahead. Wow. Uh, and okay, now he's talking about the Georgia election. Okay, let's stop right there. Okay, he's talking about the Georgia election. The Democrats are still worried. See, they know that they really didn't win this election. Okay, they know that there is some questionable situation, and in Texas, they're basically suing all the battleground states that suggest that Joe Biden is actually the winner. So now he really is saying, if I am in office, and it's clear that I guess they're basically wanting him to, he's not been certified by the Electoral College, by the way. So he's still not the winner. You had the news media saying that he's the winner. Okay, but he's in this real fight. See, Trump is behind closed doors. There's a lot of billionaires, and he's fighting with them behind closed doors, where billionaires are in this tug of war struggle behind closed doors, as far as trying to get the vaccine and out quickly, specifically to the black community. And so they like Trump was saying, let's give this vaccines to everybody. No, we can't do that. We have to basically see how this is going to act in the bodies of these Negroes. That's the reason why we have to basically go after these Negroes, these dusty Negroes, and these your hood rats that's in the housing projects. They're going to be the ones that have to take this vaccine if they want to stay in housing. And so they're saying that Trump basically is not doing anything quick enough to have that done. Dr. Fauci and all these other people, they're basically upset about it. In fact, I think it was Tariq who did something on Dr. Fauci yesterday where he bought some old bootlicking Negro and he spoke with this bedwench, spoke on Kizzy, that doctor, that black female doctor that they got a part of their science research, their dirty science, let's say that. So Dr. Fauci basically is wanting this to be experiment on black people. Now, this is what everybody's saying that happened during the Tuskegee experiment. I did a commentary on this. So this is a tug of war against grumpy, angry, old white men. You dig? Okay? White people recognize that they have to constantly get vaccines because they don't have the same kind of body mass. They don't have that protection that you got right here as black people. Wake up! That melanin in our body is a problem for them. They don't have it. They know it. So now who can really basically react to this vaccine if we gave them vaccines like we did in the past, and we know that some of these vaccines was basically making our kids, with autism, gave some of our children autism back in the days. So we can't just try this on white folks. We can't try this rush vaccine on white people. We got to first try it on the Negroes. This is what they're fighting over behind closed doors. But let's continue with old Jim Crow Joe Biden as he pimp slap his civil rights and his boot licking, butt dancing, kiss ass followers in the black community. Ooh, oh, now we get down to the nitty gritty. He said that his opponent and all of his followers, all the conservatives and all of these white racist grassroots people, they have already labeled us. He's talking about Democrats and black voters and others. They've already labeled us defund the police. See, now we get down to the nitty gritty. Now we get down to the butter and the bread of what this is really about. You understand? Go ahead and push and let's get it done. Now, we have to really look at this and see what's going on here. Okay? Now, hold your calls here. I'm going to get to you here in just a moment. Just hold your calls. I'm going to get to you in just a moment, sir. Area code 314. Hold on. I got to go ahead on this right here. Okay, so he said he promising that he's going to change policing. Okay, he's basically saying that this is what he's going to do. He's going to want to hold them accountable, and he's admitting right here that the police don't want to be held accountable. Okay, they just don't want to go to jail because, like I told you in other commentary, they know if they go to jail. You see, a white man do not want to go to jail if he came off as being a police officer. He knows that. It's a whole different think tank because they are already against the system. That's what happened to that white police officer in Chicago. Like I told you, his attorney was begging for him to move. That's what they're afraid of. They don't want to go to jail. Trust me, those people in jail do not play when a police officer come in there. You did? Oh yeah, they talk tough when they on the streets when they got badges, but when they go to jail and those guys, even the white ones, find out you used to be a police officer. Oh, you're done. The white boys even will tell you that. You did? Mm. That's how they beat the living hell out of us. Okay, because they're talking about we saying defund the police, and that's when it comes to the black grassroots. The black grassroots was out here saying we don't want the police in our neighborhoods because every time they show up, another black person is shot and killed by these crooked cops. And that's the reason why ScrewTube and the FBI and police, they all look at all of our YouTube videos because they want to know what the grassroots are thinking. They want to know, how did Joe Biden win this election? He didn't. They had to use a lot of money in order to convince you. They even showed up at people's homes saying that we got to defeat Reverend Warnock. The Republicans are saying, I mean, the Democrats are saying we got to get Reverend Warnock in there. You see, Raphael Warnock is and this other lady. Hold on, I'm gonna get to your calls in a minute. Hold on. This lady here that he's going up against, Senator Kelly Loeffler. Okay, they don't want her to basically win. They want to get Warnock in there. You did, and so that's the reason why Joe Biden mentioned Georgia. Georgia, if we get a Democrat in there, it's going to be a hot seat there. Now you can get something done in the United States Senate. You understand? Now you can get some things done. Okay? And with that being said, let's go to our caller. Area code 314. Give it to me. You're live with Lawyer Henderson. What is your name and where you calling from, my brother?
It's Bianchi. How you doing?
Hey, man. What's going on, Bianchi?
I see you got Joe Jim Crow Biden, Kamala lock her brother up, Harris.
Oh, yeah.
On your plate today.
Absolutely. Lock a brother up, Harris. You know, oh, yes.
But, lawyer.
Go ahead.
The federal government don't control the local police.
That's fine.
That, don't you?
Well, that's fine. I know that, but they basically set their policy out for them. But, of course, they don't control the local government.
No, not really. Let me tell you.
Okay.
The states control, state statutes permit cities to exist. State constitution.
Right.
And they also permit, actually, the people in those communities. Mm-hmm. Those are their employees. They are the employer. That's where the control of how the police.
Right, I understand that. I understand that. Hold on, because you made that point before. Okay, but in Joe Biden's case, he said that in order for them to get funding, okay, the states to get funding, they have to basically, agree to certain these laws that he put in place to get that funding, which was, I think, the 1994 crime bill. So the federal government, when under his office, his leadership, to build these private prisons, had failed under him to promote the states, which then, as you say, basically has the Constitution that says that the city can react. So bottom line, they're getting certain things from the federal government. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I built prisons in Missouri.
Okay.
Lawrence. The state, the municipalities don't have to take federal funds.
Okay.
Just like schools don't have to take federal funds. We have there's school districts in St. Louis community that take maybe 1% of their budget comes from federal funds. That's because they permit disadvantaged children to come there. Therefore, they are taking part of free and reduced lunch programs. Mm-hmm. state cannot dictate the policy in a local police department. That's up to the local community as the state statutes say so.
Okay.
And I'm going to send you a copy of Missouri's 1875 Constitution so you can view that yourself.
Okay.
And see, these people that he's talking to are ignorant to the facts, to the laws. And that they don't know. I'm going to try to get it here so I can read it to you. But Joe Biden, just as everybody else has done before him in their party, they pander to blacks in these communities. And you're right, they didn't. They cheated on these elections. And that's going to, just think about it. You got states that's filing lawsuits on against this election.
Yeah, battleground states.
Well, you think them states are going to pay attention to Joe Biden if he tells them to what to do to the police? And here's another thing: there's over 18,000 police authorities in this country. You got police and authorities in communities that don't have no black population per se, like the state of Vermont. When a black person sees another black person on the streets in one of Vermont cities, it's like Lassie come home. And the two of them meet.
Well, go ahead. Well, here's the thing. Policy. You know, I know a lot of states like to keep the federal government out of their policy making or what have you. But what I was saying though is that Joe Biden had a lot of things to do with the private prisons, and he forced the states to take his money. Now you're right; they don't have to take his money, but they did during the crime bill.
Let me intervene there. Private prisons work like this, and I built private prisons. I built prisons in Clayton and Bowling Green, not Bowling Green. Yeah, Bowling Green. Now listen, this is what private prisons are built because what they do, they contract those buildings, those facilities out to the state because the states cannot afford to man prisons. They also can't afford to man these houses for people who have mental conditions. And one in St. Louis is called Malcolm Bliss. It's there on Delmore, right off of Union Boulevard. So what happened? McCarthy Brothers Construction Company, they built that facility and they leased it out to the state for 30 years. And the same thing goes on with those prisons too. Now, the only prisons that the federal government have any input on is federal prisons. I think you got one there in Atlanta and elsewhere. But state prison, the federal government has no authority over how those other state prisons are ran. This is what the state statutes say, and I'm going to give you a copy of that through Facebook. In Section 1.3, the source of the Missouri Constitution of 1875, Article 2, it says, powers of the people over internal affairs, constitution, and form of government. That the people of this state have the inherent, sole, and exclusive right to regulate the internal government. Now that's like little cities like Ferguson, Clayton, and so on, so on, so on. And police thereof, and to alter and abolish their constitution and form of government whenever they may deem it necessary to their safety and happiness. Provided such change be not repugnant to the Constitution of the United States. So Joe Biden's pulling wool over somebody's head. But that's the way it goes.
Well, yeah, I think one of the things you have to understand about Joe Biden is that he's been in this business in politics for a very long time, and
48 years.
Yeah, was it 40? You said 48 years, right? Is that what you said?
Yes, he's a known racist. He's on tape being a racist.
Absolutely. So he's been in this.
Let me give you something else here too, real quick.
All right, yeah, go
Listen
ahead.
to this real quick. This is section 23. Right to keep and bear arms, ammunition, and certain accessories, exceptions, rights to be unalienable. That the right of every citizen to keep and bear arms, ammunition, and accessories typical to the normal function of such arms in defense of his home, person, family, or property, or when lawfully summoned in aid of civil power shall not be questioned. The rights guaranteed by this section shall be unalienable. Any restriction to these rights shall be subject to strict scrutiny, and the state of Missouri shall be obligated to uphold these rights and shall under no circumstances decline to protect against their infringement. So there's another thing he's got a problem with if he's going to try to confiscate people's weapons. There's a separation between the powers between the federal government and the state government. And you know, you can only go so far before people retaliate.
Okay. So what? Let me ask you. Let's move you. I can get that. You can send that through Facebook, the new Facebook account. But let's move on. Let me ask you about this. Why do you think it's very important for the Democrats to win this seat here in Georgia? What is he trying to do? You think?
I hope the Democrats don't win that seat in Georgia. Even if they did, the override, you know, you got some. You don't necessarily mean that all Democrats are going to fall in line with the whole. Isn't that the problem that the Republicans have, where you got what's called the rhinos, Republican in name only? In the override of veto, it takes a super majority. It takes 60 votes.
Well, he's trying to. He basically they're trying to get Raphael Warnock in there. But what do you think Raphael Warnock's record is?
I don't know. I think people should go to votesmart.org and look up their record. If their record is like some typical Democrats, especially, and I think that I don't even think that you would want that. And I'm going to bring up one here real quick.
Okay.
And he's out of Louisiana.
What's his name?
And his name is Cedric Richmond.
Oh yeah, we talked about Cedric Richmond on the show. Okay, yeah. Go ahead. What is his record? Let's talk about it.
Cedric Richmond is pro-choice. In other words, he's for abortions.
Yeah.
He let's see. Let me go down this list of things here, and I keep these separate. Do you support the regulation of indirect campaign contribution? Or do you support protection of government officials? Let me go on. Do you support increasing defense spending?
Yeah.
And he got an unknown. Do you support federal spending as a means promoting economic growth? Yes on that. He's do you support providing financial relief for businesses during COVID? Yeah, he's on it. Now this is what I don't like. Do you support requiring states to adopt federal education standards? Well, you don't want that.
No.
That education is what your child is educated, how and how is up to the people of that district. Here's another one that you should be concerned of. Do you generally support gun control legislation? Yes. Okay. Do you the Affordable Health Act requiring business to provide paid leave during COVID? He's for that. Now this is the one here. Do you support the construction of a wall along the Mexican border? He said no. Do you support requiring immigrants who are unlawfully present to return to their country of origin before they are eligible for citizenship? He says no.
Wow.
So I wouldn't vote for him. He's for open borders. So why come you would support somebody that's here illegally
Right.
that do it the right way. You know why?
Yeah.
Because while they're here waiting on their trial, their court date, they can have babies.
Yeah.
Then if they go to court and found that they're not suitable for a refugee status, they can say, well, I got babies who's American citizens.
Yeah.
That's another thing. That anchor baby thing that exists in the 14th Amendment was not really for illegals. You have to take on the status of your family. That's the same issue with Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Her family, mother and father, was not citizens of the United States.
Right. Never was. So what do you think? Why do you think that Joe Biden picked Kamala Harris to be his running mate, you think?
Well, people are saying, and it may be true, that Joe Biden is not going to be there much longer. So Kamala Harris will move up to president, and I don't know how they're going to do the vice president. It's saying that Nancy Pelosi will become the vice president.
Oh, wow.
She might eventually become the president.
Well, how would that work if Kamala Harris will be the vice president, which move up to the president, and then I thought it was supposed to be her moving to the president, and then Nancy Pelosi be vice president. I thought that's how it worked.
Well, that's what you think would happen.
Okay.
But I don't know what they have planned. I don't know how. I don't know how Harris would be in that position. See,
Okay.
I think it's terribly ridiculous to be voting for people because of the color of their skin. Anyway, because you don't had a decade of that type of existence in cities, and towns, and even Congress, and it's been disastrous.
Absolutely.
It's been disastrous. You had some good mayors of cities.
Right.
Look at in D.C. you had Marion Barry, who was a crackhead. But he was a damn good mayor.
Yeah, he was good.
He created some millionaires.
Absolutely.
Maynard Jackson in
Atlanta. Yeah.
Coleman Young in Detroit.
You're right.
Freeman Bonnelly for one term in St. Louis.
Mm.
But St. Louis has been Democrat since 1949.
Right.
And North St. Louis is just gone. Typical. And so another reason too, Lawrence. You know the reason why comes so many blacks vote for Democrats? Because they have not. They not. Now I ain't gonna say all, but they not highly educated, and they're not participating in high wage and salary jobs, or professions, and income. You know why your rappers said that they support Donald Trump? Because Donald Trump done a tax reform. He done a tax reform. See, Republicans is ready for you to keep your money in your pocket. Democrats want to take it and spend it on every damn thing. And see, as long as blacks are not being well educated, then they will always be subjected to some sort of government help.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't qualify for no stimulus, even though I'm retired. The income is too high.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, back on this.
If you die, go to leave your money. If you go to leave your money or your farm to your children, they got to pay inheritance taxes on that. And sometimes when it comes to land, they have to sell off part of the land in order to pay the taxes on it.
Right.
Trump said that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
If you got money in the bank and you give it over to your grandchild, why should he have to pay taxes on it? Taxes was paid on it when it was earned and put in a savings account. Now, for them to be properly educated, you got to get parents back directly in control of their children's education. Like, for instance, school choice. Because you have children in those public schools, although they come from disadvantaged backgrounds, they are well prepared them, but they sit in an environment where the rest of the class is not like that. So therefore, they are being held back. And then when you try to come up with programs to take them out, the first thing the teachers and administrators say, well, you're taking out the best. So if you take out the best, guess what? Their averages of performance go down. But why should you want to use a child like that anyway?
Right. Okay. All right, man. Well, thanks for calling. I got to get back on the. I got another article to talk about before I wrap up. Okay.
Keep up the good work, and thank you for being receptive of information.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Bye. All right, guys. Before we let you go here today on the Lawyer Henderson Show, we'll talk about how Joe Biden tried to use Marcy Fludge. It says that Biden transition updates. Biden introduced additional cabinet nominees pledging to address inequality. And in this article on December 11th, from the office of President-elect Joe Biden, it said that President-elect Joe Biden on Friday introduced 5 additional cabinet nominees to join his administration in January, tapping several alumni of the Obama administration, which we already know. So this is, copyrighted information, but we're using this to critique, Joe Biden's little lies about he's trying to diversify his cabinet. But what we'll do here is we want to use fair use. So in case people say, hey, yeah, that's a copyright claim. No, we're critiquing here. But anyway, it goes on to say that the new members of his team, Biden said, will help him address the country's inequality. Exacerbated the coronavirus and the economic downturn, these crises have ripped the blinders off the system racism in America. He said, nothing that Black, Latino, and Native Americans are more likely to die from COVID-19 and the unemployment gap between Black, Latino, and white Americans. That's a lie. The COVID-19 virus is most likely to kill white people because most of them in Europe basically did not have a vaccine ready to help them. As I told you, white people get the flu more than we do. Okay, I don't even think that we get really a flu per se. But anyway, it goes on to say that Biden said he and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris knew the challenges they faced, but also knew we could build a team that would meet this unique and challenging moment. To oversee the agricultural department, Biden has chosen Tom Vilsack, the former head of the agency under President Obama and a 2-term governor of Iowa. Many progressives have hoped to see Representative Marcia Fudge, whom Biden has tapped to lead the Department of Housing and Urban Development, nominated as Secretary of Agriculture. Critics of Vilsack's nomination had hoped Fudge would diversify the typically white male-led department and focus better on food insecurity and the agency's historic abuse of minority farmers. See, they always want to put us into these positions that really don't do nothing. The housing and urban development. These are your Negro, this is what you're basically going to be trying to improve. You keep quiet. And let's go on and talk about what he said about Representative Marcia Fudge. See, here's the thing that they're talking about. He said that Fudge, Biden said, understand how managing challenging and force solutions at a lower level as former mayor. Also announced Friday was Biden nominee Dennis Madaw, a former White House chief of staff to serve as Secretary of Veteran Affairs. And as you know, Susan Rice is coming back as the White House Domestic Policy Counsel. So she's going to get almost the same kind of job that we saw her have under Obama. But to go back to Representative Fudge here, now you have a Black woman, and they're talking about, well, we have to try to diversify. Folks, we've been seeing Black people in the Department of Urban Development, which does not do any damn thing because Black people still get discriminated in homes. We still get discriminated against in housing. And so they have put all these black folks in this office since Lyndon B. Johnson. This is not the first time that a black woman or any black person who have ever been a part of the Department of Urban Development, Housing and Urban Development, folks. Okay, let's look at in Lyndon Johnson in 1966. Everything is repeating itself. On January 13, 1966, President Lyndon Baines Johnson appoints the first African American cabinet member, making Robert C. Reaver head of the Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, the agency that develops and implements national housing policy and enforcing fair housing laws, which is a lie. Black people get discriminated against in housing policies, and the government never goes after the banks for rejecting some of our loans approval. Discrimination against housing that comes from these people who basically deny us the money, the loans, all the kinds of things that we kick us out for certain types of reasons. We don't have no real home ownership policies in this country, because if you stop paying your taxes, your property taxes, you lose your home anyway. So to tap this Representative Marcy Fudge or any other black person in the HUD administration of the presidency, we've been having black people in that position ever since Lyndon B. Johnson, probably close basically here there might have been some other people before Lyndon B. Johnson who have put, black folks in that position. Hell, we still get discriminated against in homes. A damn illegal can come over here and get a home within a year, better than a black person can. So old Jim Crow Joe Biden really ain't saying nothing here. And neither as this article that the LA Times is trying to produce here. Was this the LA Times? Sorry, not the LA Times. This is NPR. NPR. Sorry, LA Times. Even though y'all backwards still, but let's give the appropriate, they are actually talking about what was said from Joe Biden in his cap. So we're not going to say the NPR or Los Angeles Times. They're just reporting what Jim Crow Joe Biden said. See, they like to give black people these do-nothing type jobs. And so this is why all of these Negroes is brushing up on Joe Biden, all of them trying to get positions in the office, and he's not been declared the winner yet. Like I said earlier, the verdict is still out on whether or not Joe Biden has won this election or not. See, they're in the back behind the stage, closed doors in this particular situation. Now, folks, let me say here that if you really look at a lot of things in this administration, you would have seen that this is the same thing Bill Clinton did to black people. Everybody hit that thumbs up button. If you're in the chat, hit that thumbs up button. Giles, man, come on, player. I don't delete nothing you guys say. Start with that. Talking about is this comment don't be, dude, I don't delete nothing. In fact, you can call in at 516-418-5867, or you will be deleted off the page because now you're just trolling. My dude, I have not deleted any of your comments. You go back and look at the live chat, it is still there because we all contribute to this particular podcast. Okay, my dude? I don't care about having the trolls in my comment section. You did? I just want them to call me up and just, and tell me where I'm wrong at. I'm not like the, excuse me, need some water here. I'm not like the other YouTubers who just delete you. No, I want you to stay because even the trolls and the coons have to learn a lesson. And this is what we're talking about among the Biden administration, all these bootlicking Negroes who thought that they're going to get a position with white daddy, he's telling you, no, you're not. Don't be trying to come in here and pressure me. This is what our conversation is. You did? So I went back all the way to what Dr. John Henry Clark was talking about when he said that the white man created race. Okay? He created the word race. And so that's what we basically was referring to. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you. Hit that thumbs up button. We are trying to basically just tell you that this is the game that our parents want us to play. See, Marcus Garvey and W.E. Du Bois, they were basically arguing, but they came to understand the agreement before our brother Marcus Garvey had to go back to Jamaica. That you got to work together regardless of whether your opinions are the same or not, or your agreements are the same or not. Some of those things that we agree in the black community, we have to work on those things. And see, that's the reason why white people are very good at controlling people, because they have people who are willing to say, okay, I'll remain the vice president while you be the CEO. That's our problem. Everybody within our and everybody in the black community, they don't want to be in charge when white folks are in charge. But when a black person say, okay, let's go ahead and get this, now everybody want to be the damn CEO. I'm like, damn. But when the white man come around, no, you can't be this nigga. You got to be a subordinate. And then, Negroes are play that field. Black man say, come on, let's build something. Everybody say, well, I want to be the board of this. I want to do this. You see, that's the difference. You even got our women nagging. See, the attitudes that comes from our black women is the same way. They sit on these jobs with white men and they hear all of this stuff, and then they bring that stuff home to their black husbands. And see, we got to stop this. Like how Joe Biden is talking to black people, we got to stop this as black men. So we got to start putting some spine in our backs. We got to meet as black men and say, look, we're not going to be getting talked to like this. You see, that's the reason why your wives come home thinking that they can talk to you like this, because they've been listening to white men like how he talked to these black folks. They've been hearing that on the job for a long time. So they'll come back to their husband. Look, nigga, I'm not cooking you shit, and I'm not going this. No, we as black men got to start putting the foot down. We can't be letting nobody talk to us. This man was chin checking them in this meeting, like a pimp should do. And that's the problem with the civil rights generation. They basically have allowed these white folks to just talk to them any kind of way. Our generation is not like that. We got to make sure of that. And the generation after that got to make sure, white people talking to us crazy and stuff. They don't talk to other groups like that. They only talk to black folks like this. We got to make sure that stuff ends. You did? Because there's no universal law that suggests that we have to participate in your system at all. It's just black men corroborating. That's the reason why Amos Wilson said, oh, y'all give the white man his personality. Because black men have always been corroborative, and he's been complicit in his own oppression. So Giles, we know better over here. So I'm just speaking formative about what's going on in these cabinets, what this president is doing, this so-called president is doing, because he really didn't win. That's the reason why he's trying to get this Georgia seat, because he really didn't win. He's trying to say, oh, well, we need that Georgia seat. No, you don't. You don't need the Georgia seat. Not really. You see? So now he's trying to spin it as if, no, niggers, we got some more work to do, because y'all really didn't get me to win, if you want to say so. And that's the reason why I'm going to put all these white men in my cabinet, and these white women, these other people, because you Negroes really didn't come out for me. In other words, he's telling them behind closed doors, and you can go look at the video, listen to the audio that was linked. He's telling Negroes, y'all really didn't do a good job because the grassroots, they're still out here talking this old black power and defund the police and all that stuff. So let's be very clear about that. So anytime you disagree with me in the chat, I mean, you call me up. I'm not running. you know, I'm not hiding. You dig? We all gonna die anyway. I'm not hiding. You see? You dig? But I like to have a conversation, a good conversation with the people. That's it. Sometimes I even get white folks calling me up. Yeah, Black Power, dude. Yeah, dude, we're gonna do it, dude. The government is a bullshit. We're gonna do it, man. Okay, hold on, man. We don't know who you are. Calm down a little bit. You see. But anyway, this is a game, family. They're playing games with us. They're now saying he's pimping these black folks, these bootleg Negroes who out here say, "Well, give them time." You even had D.L. Hughley saying that bull crap. Let's wait till he get in office, and he still ain't really won yet. But now that he's the president elect, he created his own little office. He brought all these people in, and he went behind closed doors. Him and Kamala Harris, and they said, "This is how it's gonna be, nigga." He checked them just like a pimp is supposed to do. You're supposed to check your hoes. Man, you dig? But we only got about 1 minute in here, y'all. He checked his hoes. I got to get a female co-host who's going to come over and help me out because I'll be tripping in here. I don't even do all the talking. Y'all be getting too serious over here. No, but he checked them. See? And I want y'all to go and listen to the link audio. All right, so join me this week. We're going to be talking more about this, and we're going to be talking more about Grandmaster Jay, because the internet is still livid. That they even will bring a criminal complaint against him instead of these race soldiers who killed our sister Breonna Taylor. So this week, we're going to be on the topic, but join me next week as we got some more information in the Kanika Jenkins investigation. You see, the white supremacists, they thought these race soldiers who killed her, they thought that we basically had forgot about her case. No, we haven't. See, that's what made the Lawyer Henderson show dangerous because we don't forget who our open enemy are. You dig? It may pretend like we bootlicking on occasion, but hey, But yeah, black man, we gotta have a meeting as far as basically looking to say, well, why are we allowing white folks to talk to us like this? We gotta have that kind of meeting, black men. Like I said, then our wives come home, our girlfriends come on, nagging at us, talking crazy, out with this attitude. She get that from listening to white folks all the time, especially white men. That's where she get all that coming from. And you be like, why are you talking to me like that? I just asked you to go make me, fix me a bowl of cereal. Why are you talking to me like that for? See, we got to be able to put the foot down here. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, join me tomorrow, guys. I'm sorry for coming on late tonight, but we typically come on at 7 o'clock, 7:30 sometimes, same time, same station. It is the Lawyer Henderson podcast show.